everybody. Sorry, I looked down for a minute because my little puppy Teddy jumped up on my leg right as the view went live. So, welcome. I'm Joey. I'm so happy to be with you today. I hope you're seeing me live on YouTube and Facebook. Facebook has had some glitches, so sometimes it hasn't gone live on Facebook when it's supposed to, so I hope that's happening. I see a couple people coming on, so I'm live in one place or the other. I would love for you to say hello when you come on. I'm going to look and see if I can see comments here. Cynthia's here. Yay. Okay, so at least one person has found me. It does take a while for Facebook, especially, to let people know that I'm on live. And of course, my puppy who never barks is barking now. So that's probably the way this is going to go today. He'll probably give up in a moment, but you never know. So I am excited to share with you some more techniques today using blending brushes and masks. I've been working with them for a couple of weeks actually, and I've learned a lot of things that I'm going to share with you today. I've got some foolproof ways for you to be an expert at using masks and blending brushes. So I hope you'll stay with me, and we're going to go over some of those things very shortly. When you do come on, I'd love for you to say hello, whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay. And let's see, it's just saying hi. Okay, hang on. Cynthia's giving me a message, and it's glaring in the sun, so I'm going to put my glasses on. I usually take them off just, well, today the glare's not so bad. Usually the glare's bad, but let me see. He's just saying hi to us. Oh, mainly Teddy. Yes. Well, yes. Hopefully that. He is really not a barker, so that is a good thing. Anyway, all right. Enough about that. Let's go ahead and click down to my. Oh, yeah. I wanted to explain one more thing before the Teddy interruption. Today was scheduled to be a Facebook Live craft along with me using Darling Dinos. The projects I created for that class. And okay, this has never happened, and it was disappointing for sure, but I'm hoping I am going to gain some information from it. But not even one person signed up for that craft along with me, which has, as I said, never happened, and I don't know whether it was just bad timing with it, I didn't market it well enough, or people in general just weren't interested in a class with the little Darling Dinos. I'm not sure. So I usually, whatever my craft along is, then it's always live, and then the week before it's in person. So I will probably at least offer that tutorial through my email list, and if you haven't signed up for my email, be sure you do, and I'll have more for you through my email on that. But today we're gonna work on blending techniques, and I have so much to share. I'm excited to share it with you. So anyway, let's go ahead and click down to my workspace. So first things first, if you have not if you don't have a demonstrator and you need an annual catalog, let me know. So just go ahead and message me. You can put something in the comments to let me know that you need a catalog. You just say, I need a catalog, and then I'll message you. If you have ordered $50 or more from me in the past 6 months, your catalog is free. If you have not ordered from me, you can still order in the next day or two a $50 order, and I'll send you the catalog for free. If you haven't ordered from me, then I charge just $7 for it, which is I can't open it for you, but it's a whole bunch of ideas and all our products, and this catalog is much improved from last year. So the organization of it's really easy to find things, etc. But if you want one, let me know, and we will I'll plan to get one to you. So that's first and foremost. You have to let me know within the next day or two because I'm putting in my order for the catalogs. Okay, today, now, as I said, we're going to work on blending techniques. We're going to return. I have made a couple videos with this set, and we're going to do it one more time today. Plus, today, I've added these gorgeous dies. Have you guys seen these dies? These are called the Textured Notes dies. I know it doesn't have anything to do with what the dies actually are, but look at all of these dies for rectangles. There's just, every crafter needs this set. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dies. These obviously would fit labels, and then the rest can make mats for your projects. And we're going to work with these today. I'm going to show you how well they work. So the other thing is if you have not, as I said, there's a link to subscribe to my newsletter in the description of the video on YouTube. On Facebook, I'll just go ahead and add that link when the video loads. Again, I'm not 100% sure this is showing up on Facebook, so is anybody watching on Facebook that you could put in a comment? Hi, Liz. Oh, you're on a break? That's fabulous. Okay. Alrighty. So these are the dies and stamps we're using. Thankful Garden, that is on the list of online exclusives. So on March 4th, Stampin' Up! Put out a bunch of new online exclusives. And then the thing about that, what that means is you just can't find it in a written catalog in a paper publication. So that's all that means. And what we're using today, again, as I said, we've used these in the last couple of videos, but we're looking at the Lovely Garden. I know that's very small for you, but you can at least, if you want to do a screenshot of the number and the price, it looks like you can see it right there. I also actually have that ready on my my little handy dandy video here, if I can bring it up. So let's see if we can bring that up. It was on, here we go, there we go, Thankful Garden bundle, and there's the number and the price if you're interested. Also, one more business thing. I was just going to do a demonstration today, but then I had these three sweet, cute cards, so I thought, well, maybe people would like to get the supplies to make these. So I am making this a class to go. So what that means is with your order of $45 or more, I'll send you the supplies to make the cards we're making today. And one last thing, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell, I hope you'll do that, and you'll see my future videos and you won't miss anything. Okay, this also comes with 5 mats. So there's 3 for the flower and 2 for the leaves. And I'll show you how to use those. And I have, as I said, some great tips for you on these today. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me get out my projects. Let's start with this one. This is the colors I used on this one are Fresh Freesia and Petunia Pop. I had to think for a minute, all the piece. And I also used the products that come with this suite. It is a whole suite. It's called the Lovely Thankful Garden. I think I said that. The paper is Lovely Garden. Let's take a look at this, and let's make this card. Now we need, for our flowers, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make each of these from scratch, because I think you kind of really need to see how everything works together. I'm going to grab some scrap paper. I could just use my grid paper for scrap paper, but it makes a mess because we're going to use a lot of different colors today, and I didn't want you'd have to be looking at all this mess of colors when we're trying to actually focus on color. I'm just going to tack this down a little bit, my scrap paper, and it might make it go blurry. It looks like it's pretty clear, so I think we're good. Sometimes it takes the camera a moment to focus. All right, first thing we need to do, obviously, is we're going to stamp our image. This is a fairly large image, so I usually ink my larger images with upside down. You know, usually we ink like this, but for a big stamp like this, especially when we're using Memento ink, because Memento, I'm using a good deal of pressure on Memento. All of our our soft ink pads, the foam ink pads, you do not want to push with this much pressure. You'll have ink everywhere. But this is a flat felt ink pad, so you don't need to worry about it. Okay, so we want to just make sure it's really well inked. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my flower in Memento Black. and give that a good press because it's a big stamp, so I want to make sure it inked well. Yes, did really good. So far, we're off to a good start, everybody. Oh, all the crazy things that happen when you're trying to get ready to go live on Facebook. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I don't think we need to tape this. Famous last words, right? Now, I'm going to show you something. The first thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to move this for a moment. Now, the masks come without any of these markings on them, and I got this tip from Patty Bennett. So if you don't follow Patty, you should, because she gives all kinds of, she's a fabulous demonstrator. But I got this tip from her. So the way you do this is, okay, you got to think for a minute. You use your leaf stencil, the one that's all the open one, none of the details. And then you go ahead and, what, is this right? Yes. So then you can, oh, good Lord, Joey, how did I do this? I marked this. Yes, like this. So you put this over your other stencils like this, and then you take your Sharpie marker. You make sure they're lined up, that the notches are lined up, and then take your Sharpie marker and then mark where this lines up with the leaves. That makes it so much easier to line your stamps up. I'll show you what that means. But let's go ahead and start with this pretty flower. I'm going to line it up. Now, as you can see, I can look right to see where the leaves are. Now, I'm also going to look up around my flower and make sure that's all lined up. But last time we worked with this, I showed you how to use the notches to line it up, which you can still do that if you want to. And what that would involve, if I didn't have these handy dandy markings on my mask, is to just go ahead and take a pencil here and then mark that on your, well, it need to be on your scrap paper, so that's probably not going to help you on this. But trust me, go ahead and mark it like we have it. I had to move that a little bit, so let's retape that. It just makes it so easy. And again, that's from Patty, so thank you, Patty, for that. We're going to start with Fresh Freesia on this one. And what I want to show you, and I got this from Patty too, I just got a lot of tips from her, is I'm going to take my blending brush and then I'm going to, this really wants to move. Let's tape this down just a little bit more. There we go. So I taught this last time, so you're going to just brush it off a little bit on your scrap paper. But then what she did is she made some darker spaces here. Darker spaces? No, Joe. Darker spaces. I still don't know if I said that right. So I'm kind of just going around my flower, and I'm not blending the whole thing like is what I showed you to do last time, which you can do it that way. It makes a beautiful card and flower. But I'm making these, and of course, Fresh Freesia is very light anyway. So I want to make sure that shows. On my sample, I'm not sure it really showed as much as I wanted it to. So you just always want to make sure you blot off. All right, now after I have my dark spaces, now I am going to lightly go around the edges. And it's the lightness and the darkness that makes this look more realistic and blends it together. Now, you can peek under your mask to see if it, yes, I like that. So can you see already all the variation in color? So we're going to even add to that with our other mask. Now, I saw another thing that Patty did that I thought was really helpful. Well, this isn't exactly what she did, but so these masks will fit exactly in or on top of your clean, well, whatever this thing, chamois. Okay, and then to clean it, you want to just pat like this. So if you wipe it, there's all these kind of little places here that could get damaged. Here, am I in the camera? Like right there, that could get bent. So I just, And then if you put it on your very lightly dampened chamois, it's going to clean whatever ink might be on the back of it. Because let's face it, you're probably piling these up. Now, this is my chamois that came with my glass mat. And I had my glass mat out here actually today. And there was just so much glare on the surface from my lights that I decided to go back to my grid paper. But so the chamois, if you bought it, and you can still get it if you want to buy it, you can still get the glass mat, and then that chamois comes with it. Okay, next level, let's just move on here because we have several cards to make, and I want to make sure I show everything. So now again, I'm going to line up my leaves right there because I marked all my masks in the same way. I'm going to line this up like so. I'm looking at the leaves. I'm also looking, again, as I said, at the flowers. So this is our second level. So this is going to be add a little bit more depth. And this is what the concept artist at Stampin' Up! Made. So for this one, to add more depth, choose your words, Jill. Let's use Petunia Pop, which is a little bit darker, purpley pink. It's not dark, but it's a little bit dark. Or is this right, or do I still have Fresh Freesia? Yeah, that's Fresh Freesia. I should have known. Like that kind of looks like Fresh Freesia. Now for your brushes, I did tell you last time we made a card together with this set of masks that I don't have a dedicated brush. I need to wipe this off now because it's going in my Petunia Pop. So there we go. That's what we want. Now again with this one, I'm going to make just a few darker spaces. Just going to start with a little bit of color just by itself, like so, kind of like that. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave those light spaces fairly light. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's do a little bit more right there. And then I'm going to brush this off a little bit. But the way we did it last time is we just covered the whole first layer with a light color of ink. All right, now we're going to go back. Whoops, this is not lined up over here, so I want to make sure we get this lined up. You might want to tape it down more. I didn't, but you could. Okay, so now, again, I want to make sure this is light, though. So I'm just going to barely brush over this. The last time we did the whole thing on each. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was going for. Okay, now let's quickly clean this. We might not make the whole card today, but I will send you the supplies for the card if you want to get the kit for these. You do need to use the host code. So I have the host code on the screen there. So just make sure you use the host code in order to get the class for free. Okay, let's go on to the next layer here. And same thing, I'm going to line up my leaves. And let's get this in here. There we go. Now this is the most detailed. And I'm just going to, I don't think I need to tape it down. Famous last words. Same thing. I'm going to do a little bit of darkness just here where those are. Maybe a little bit more. Let's get Petunia Pop back out here. You could probably even try a third color that would go with these, but I stuck with two colors. Just don't want a blob. Remember, people, don't want a blob like that. And then again, I really want those light spaces, so I'm just gonna barely move over it. Oh, and I like that. Now, that gives you all the variation of color. Well, we'll do this, we'll finish this, and we'll go ahead and do the leaves so you get the full picture of the whole thing. And for this card, I use I use Lemon Lime Twist. It's going to start to say Granny Apple Green, but I used Lemon Lime Twist. So let's get that out. And we'll do our leaves. This one is obviously really easy to line up, like here. And then we'll go ahead and lemon lime twist. Now I have one more tip to tell you with shading. If you take your brush, and this is again lemon lime twist. So I'm going to start at the top of, you wouldn't have to start at the top, but that's how I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going over just the top of my leaves here. So I'm going to ink it up again. I'm going over just at the top because I want the top of the leaves to be pretty dark, so there's a lot of contrast there. Can you see that? And I don't have very much at all. I might do just a little bit more here because I really want it to show on camera. In life, it shows in life. In real life, you know, here in person. Okay, now I am going to just gently brush on the rest of the leaf, that little bit of color, so we have a little color. But I want it to really show the shading. Can you see the shading? It's pretty subtle, but I just think it's so pretty. Alrighty, let me, well, just for time's sake, I'm just going to blot this off here. Okay, so we got that. Now let's get to our last mask of our 5 masks, and we'll go ahead and, this is the leaf detail. So we'll go ahead and get this down here. And then this goes pretty fast, friends. So once you're going to get the hang of it, it does go pretty fast. So same thing, I'm going to ink up my brush, blot it off a little bit, and then again, I'm still going to go from the top here where it's the darkest, and I'm going to move into that mask just a little bit more. Make sense? Well, that doesn't show very much, so let's do it again. I could use, again, a different color of ink would show up. Probably Old Olive would show up really well, and it blends with, or Granny Apple Green would probably blend with Lemon Lime Twist. But let's do a little bit more so you can see it, because I don't think you could see it very good. So we'll get this one. You don't even really have to do this detailed one if you do the shading like I showed you, but I'm going to get into those darker places just a little bit more. There you go. That adds a little bit more. Can you see the shading, the detail? So there we go. And that's just that flower. Now, for this card, let's go to those. Let's clean this off though. Let me get my chamois and clean off my mask. Now, for this card, we are going to go back to these dice that I told you about, and I think, let's see, I don't remember exactly. I think this is the one. Let's see. These all have a decorative edge. I don't know if you saw that, but, and we're going to actually cut some of this flower off and use this. I'm pretty sure this is the one I used. And we're going to kind of angle it a bit. Let's go ahead and get the die cutting machine out and get this run through the die cutting machine. Now I'm hoping I have a top plate here. Nope, hang on, don't go anywhere. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened. My helper was here yesterday, and we were moving machines around, and I can't find my clear one. I try to always have a clear one for you to see through, but I didn't want to spend any more time looking for it. So we're just going to go with this. And then I think how I did this is I kind of angled this a little bit. Yeah, I think that's how I did it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the same. And then let's go ahead and tape this down again. This is just Post-it tape that I buy from Amazon. And let's go ahead and, I'm sorry you can't see this going through, but you'll get the idea. Whoops, want to make sure everything goes through straight through your die cutting machine. If you start die cutting and it stops, it's like really pushing hard, stop, back out, and just make sure everything's lined up. So that you're sure that you're not damaging anything. Okay, so let's get this out here. Isn't that pretty? I don't know. I just am so enjoying these stamps and masks together, and I'm learning more and more about how to make a beautiful image that has a lot of variety on it. So there you have that. Now this is gonna be really simple to finish this up. Let me grab the rest of our parts for our card. So the DSP that comes with this bundle is called, I have an extra piece of white here, Lovely Garden Designer Series paper. So it's part of this suite. Are these two the same? Yep, I guess I have two. Don't need two. Let's go ahead and so this is the pattern I'm using. This is also one of my favorites. Don't you hate it? We've talked about this before if you've been watching me. We hate turning over our paper when both sides are beautiful, but what are you going to do? Just buy more paper. That's what I do. All right, let's go ahead and line this up with about 1/8 of an inch around, like so. And then I just took a piece of Petunia Pop, and I don't remember what this measures. Let's check it out. It's 4 1/4 by, nope, 2 7/8 by 4 3/8. 2 7/8 by 4 3/8. I'll have this in the PDF that will go out to all my newsletter subscribers. Whoops, dang, haven't. I got flustered with well, as I said, that's probably how this day's going to go, because we started off with Teddy Boy barking. Sometimes your tape runner gets kind of gunky on it where the tape comes out, the adhesive, so it helps it work better if you just take that off. All right, there we go. Now let's put down this piece. I started to say I'll be sending the measurements for these cards to my newsletter subscribers along with the product list of what I'm using so that you can know what I used in case you want to find it and use it too. Let's go ahead and put I'm using up some dimensionals, so let's put some dimensionals on the back of this. I'm so happy you're here with me today. You guys, this week, I'm excited. I'm going to be here with you twice this week. So tomorrow night is our Julie and Friends competition, and I'm going to show you what I'm making. So stay tuned to the end. I'll show you my Be Creative Club cards that's coming up with this bundle, and I will also show you my project for Julie and Friends. So let's go ahead and then... This is a very simple card. This week we're mostly working on, or I'm showing you techniques and ways that you can use your blending brushes and your masks to get a lot of variation. I think that's really pretty. Let's go ahead and get our green. This is Lemon Lime Twist. You know, I looked at this last night though, and I kind of felt like this was a little glaring. Let's switch this up just a touch. Grab my paper trimmer, and we're going to make our tag. Instead of Lemon Lime Twist, we're going to try Fresh Fusion and see if we like that better. So I do remember the measurement for this is 1/2 inch, and then I think 3. We'll go ahead and cut it. Well, let's cut it here at 3. Right here. I'm not looking at your comments, but I promise I will. So I would love to see what you have to say about this card or these masks. Have any of you done some stamping with masks? Not necessarily these, but any masks, and you enjoyed it or you didn't enjoy it? What do you think about it? It's definitely a unique process to make cards, but you can't really get the effect any other way. And I hope I'm showing you today some ways that you can get even more out of your masks and your blending brushes. And again, I hope you'll stay tuned to the end. I'll show you. We're going to try this today. I don't know. I'll have you tell me which one you like better once we get this all put together. All right, I'm going to take this off just for a moment. We're going to use it again, but let's go ahead and put this together. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this, and then we're just about done with this card. But I'd love to know if you have used masks in your stamping, this kind of mask where, you know, the artist does all the work for you, and you just have to lay down each layer and color your card with the blending brushes. Now you can, and I do have one to show you, you can use this stamp set and just color with it. Okay, so that's good. Let's put a little bit of ribbon on this. I'm using the ribbon that is part of this suite as well. This is called Fresh Freesia 1/8 inch faux velvet ribbon. I know we have such long names for some of these things. Fresh Freesia 1/8 inch Fresh Freesia faux velvet ribbon. It's really pretty. It is velvety. It likes to twist when you're trying to make a bow, which it just did. So let me focus on how I'm doing this. It's really pretty, and I really like the texture that the velvet gives it, the faux velvet. Okay, that was a better bow. I'm gonna pull this like so. Let's give it a trim. But make sure you put on your calendars that tomorrow night is our Julie and Friends contest. It's going to go live on YouTube at 6:30. And what happens is Julie is my friend, Julie Salva, and she invited Alejandro Gomez, who's another wonderful stamper, to participate in a contest. This is our third and last week. I haven't won yet. So girls or guys, I need you to vote for me. It's the way you vote for my project tomorrow night. I'm telling you, you haven't even seen my project. You're like, well, maybe yours won't be our favorite. Oh, I'm sure it will be, though. So you vote with a thumbs up. And what we ask you to do is watch all 3 videos and then vote for your favorite. And you're going to watch mine. I'm going to watch mine because I'm going to show you what it is when we get done here. Okay, so that bow is supposed to be on the stem here, but you get the idea. So the other product that's as part of this suite is the Starburst Sequins, these are called. And they come in Fresh Freesia. I think this is Fresh Curry. I've used it with Daffodil Delight as well. And white. So for this card, we're going to use the Fresh Freesia ones. I'm going to just put a few here. Now I know they probably won't show up all that great on the camera because they are purple going on purple. And I did do quite a few of these. I will also send you, in your packet, I'll send you the ribbon, your class kit, if you put in your order. And I'll send you a row of these sequins. At least one row, maybe a couple rows. Enough to do your cards the way I did them. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Well, let's go down here. Maybe one more little one. And maybe right there. Okay, that's good enough. You get the idea. Okay, well, maybe one more here. I don't know how well you can see the sequins. I hope you can see them. They're really pretty in person. Of course, you make a difference. All right, let's move on because we do want to get all 3 of these cards done so I can show you some other ways to use these masks. So there's card number 1. What do you think of that? Here it is with the green. Let me know if you like the green tag better or you like the Fresh Freesia tag. While I'm getting the other ones ready, you put in the comments which one you like better. Okay, then let's keep moving here. Let me grab everything for our second card. For our second card, I'm going to do the other, whoops, just lost something. the other flower that's in this set. We're going to do some peaches and Calypso Coral with this one, so you get an idea. All right, so make sure you let me know in the comments if you like the green tag or the fresh Frisian one better. Well, let's put those aside and let's get to working on this one. So for this one, we're going to use that other big, beautiful flower. And same thing, we're going to stamp a Memento Black. This one we're going to die cut. But because there's so much versatility. And then I have made a home decor piece. That's what I'm doing for Julie and friends tomorrow night. And I think it turned out so cute. And it was really easy with this bundle. So let me get this over here. Like so. Good press with Memento. Okay, there we go. That's good. And for this one, let's see. Let's grab our scrap paper here. Put this down. Let's grab. We'll go back to our mask. Now again, this is what I wanted to show you today is if you line up. Whoops, what am I doing here? So for me, there's a number up here. You won't be able to see it, but it's a 1 and there's a notch. So all the all the masks are numbered. So that's helpful. And then again, I marked my leaves. So I'm looking here to line up my leaves. And look how well that lines up. And it doesn't take you very much time to line it up. And it makes it just a little bit easier to see everything. And it goes just a little bit faster. There we go. And again, I got that idea from Patty Bennett, who's a fabulous stamper and person. Let's go ahead and I've known Patty for a long time. We've been in a swap group. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing I showed you with the other one that we just made. So I'm going to do a few little dark places first. I'm not doing the whole flower like I showed you last time. This way, I like this way better. It gives more depth to your creation and more variation in color than even the masks give you, because they give you a good, let's see, let's go up here with our darker color too, right there. So, and then now I just want it really light, so I'm going to buff off my brush, and then this moved a little bit, there we go. My paper moved. My mask stayed still, but my paper moved because I didn't tape it down. You could tape it down. I did tape it down on my last video. Okay, now very lightly, I'm going to go over places. I want to make sure that the edges of my flower have a little ink. Let's bring this up and see what we've got. Yeah, I like that. Now there's a lot of variation in color there, but when we get the other masks on, we'll see. Oops. I have gel nail polish on. Do you ever find that gel nail polish, if you get your nails done with gel, it's hard to pick things up, especially paper. Again, we're going to just blot. And this is our chamois. You could use, a microfiber cloth. I would not use a paper product. I wouldn't use a paper towel because anything that's paper, it could leave a little bit of lint on your, it could just make things messy and you wouldn't get as good. You might get it on your ink pad, etc. All right, let's take this guy and we'll line this. Here, let's move this up. Line this back up. Again, I'm looking for the leaves because that goes so fast. Such a great tip from Patty. All right, line this up. Anyway, Patty and we were originally in a swap group together years ago. Now I'm going to take Calypso Coral. I'm going to mix up the color here a little bit. Calypso Coral is just a little bit deeper. Peach Pie is one of our current in colors, so it's only going to be with us one more year, but it is going to be with us one more year. So I'm going to grab my Calypso Coral, and I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to just make a few blotches here. Oh, my paper keeps moving. You might save yourself some time by taping down your paper. And let's do a little bit Calypso. And let's do a little bit more Calypso blob. I kind of want the blob idea. Okay, now I'm going to very gently, I don't want a lot more color on this, but I do want it to go around to the edges. Ooh, that turned out really pretty. I like that. Okay, one more. I've got one more to go for this. And, oops, getting the ink. This is why it's handy to have your chamois here and your, see, and there is ink on the back. It's just easy to get ink in places you might not want when you're doing this. Okay, the last one, let's do the detailed one, the third one. Let's get this one on here. And again, this time, I'm going to use, is this it? Is that the one I just used? Where is my mask? Yeah, that's it. For a minute, I thought I had the mask number 2, but it's 3. Just should have just looked at my number. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of Calypso Coral. And again, a few blobs in a couple places. And then just a little bit more. And now I'm going to just make it really light so it blends together better. So there we go. I really like that. I think it turned out really pretty. Now this one, obviously my first layer I had more color, but you know, they're all going to be different. If you don't want all that variation, you can go back to your first mask and add more of the all over color, but well, we could do that. Let me show you what that would look like. So if we go back to the first one, so if we go back to this one, we put this back over here, and then let's say we want just a little more blending. We can take our first color, which was Peach Pie, and we can go back over it. I don't want any blobs, and I want this very light, so I want to make sure I don't have too much. You know, famous last words, you can always add more. Add a little more. But I don't want to, I want to keep those variations. For my card, my personal taste, I like it to show all the light and dark. But didn't that turn out pretty? I think it turned out really pretty. Now this card will go together quickly because all the mats are done. And I'll have that all done for you. All the die cutting will be done for you for anything that isn't in the suite. Now if it's in the stamp set, you'll have to have your own stamps and dies, but you can substitute. If you want this card kit, you can certainly substitute with something you already have. Okay, there's that. We're going to die cut this, and we're going to get this card put together. So let me grab my die cutting machine. I'm going to get pretty close to you here, so I apologize for that, but I don't want to move my camera around because if that just adds complications, and you know, we don't need complications on a live video. But I will check my comments in just a moment. Let me get this die cut, and I'll see if you have questions. Well, first I have to find my dies, for Pete's sakes. Oh my goodness. I don't know why this happens. Things just disappear off my desk. Here we go. I think what happens is I'm focusing on what we're making, and then I lay things on top. Oh, I didn't do my leaves. Oops, we gotta do that quick. That won't take long. We'll just do one layer on the leaves and make it quick. So let me grab my, again, anyone have gel polish on their nails and then they can't move their, can't pick anything up? That's what we need. So mask number 4. Let's grab our lemon lime twist. Now I did do one card. I'll show you my club cards that I used this for. My club is still open. If you want to try it 1 month or you want to subscribe. Let's get this on here. And then I'll show you where I used these stamps, and I did not, I didn't color the leaves, and I do think the one I used turned out really pretty. Okay, so let's go like this. And again, my scrap paper. Now again, on these leaves, just like I did on the hydrangea leaves, I'm going to start with a darkness towards the top. And my blotches, well, they're not blotches, but my depth of color is going to be the most at the top on this. Okay, like so. The tops of my leaves. And of course, you can't get this perfect because, you know, and it doesn't have to be perfect anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then let's do that. But I'd want a real variation on my leaves. So I'm going to go back and get this a little darker yet. Just at the top of them. Okay? And then, there we go. And for the sake of time, we're going to just say that's good enough. But you could go back with your detail leaf for sure, like we did in the first flower. And let's go ahead and clean off our mask. And add more depth even with the last mask that goes for the leaves, the leaf details. So for those of you that are wondering, I just store this chamois in with this guy, and it stays wet. You know, it's not the best. It doesn't close completely, but it closes. It will close. All right, let's go ahead and do the die cutting. I just think that turned out so pretty. I don't know what kind of flowers those are. The others I'm pretty sure are, well, I know they're hydrangeas. They're only flower that looks like that. Let's try this again. So, and then for the last card, I'm just going to show you how I colored the flowers using even more colors and mixing colors together. And I'll show you the finished card, and then I'll show you what I'm going to make for Julie and Friends. It's a sneak peek. You can't tell anybody because no one else has seen it. It'll be very fast. It'll be a very fast sneak peek. Okay, let me get this. I want to make sure I tape this down. I especially like this flower. I think this turned out really pretty. I'm getting better at this technique where you put some dark places on first before you lightly blend in the whole rest of the mask, and I really like how it's turning out. Okay, here's card for flower number 2. I just love it. I think I don't know, I just think they're turning out so pretty, and I've made so many cards with this bundle. I think of my mom for flowers. My mom had the most beautiful rose garden. That's all she grew. Well, no, she grew like some perennials in the backyard of our house, but this is going to be very fast. But I think of her in the spring. She passed away. She's not with us anymore, but I think of her all the time. We think of our moms all the time. Especially, you know, when it starts getting closer to Mother's Day. This is a panel of peach pie. Gosh, for a moment I thought, what? Is that right? Yes, peach pie. And I used the dies. I think this is the largest die in that set of Textured Notes dies, it's called. And it's almost as big as the card front. Let's see if it's the biggest one. I think think it is. Yes, it's the biggest one. I have just pulled these. Whoops. Oh, I was going to put a bow on it. That's right. Well, I can still put a bow. I'll wrap it around the back. Now, this one I die cut from the DSP, the designer paper. Actually, I used, so here's another tip. I used the smaller die. I don't know if you can see that is die cut. I don't know if you can see the edge around it or not. And we'll stamp the greeting. We're going to stamp the greeting actually in Petunia Pot. Just give a little contrast. This is going to say thankful. Thankful for you, friend. And I am thankful for all of you. Very thankful. Here we go. Let's try and get this straight. And this is another die. This is one of the label dies from that set. If you can see the edging on it. Well, I don't know if you call it edging, but you know, the decorative edge, that's probably the better way to say it. So now we're going to just finish this up quickly with a bow and some gems and our gorgeous flower. So again, these cards today are much more about the techniques as opposed to, they're not, you know, these are not fancy folds. They are, I think they're really pretty. And, you know, we don't always need complicated, do we? These are not complicated cards. But I think they're wow cards. You can have wow cards without it being complicated. And the blending, you know, you can't do the blending wrong. So it's always going to look nice no matter what. Let's see, let's put this a little bit this way. Then let's put this guy right here. Let's go with, I don't want dimensionals on top of dimensionals here, so I'm going to kind of put this off to the side. Let's put one more here on the card itself so that I can tell where they're going to go. Then let's put this down. I'm going to go off. I want the stem to show, and I want a little bit of the peach pie to show. And then I'm going to grab the peach pie ribbon. Here we go. And then I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to show you how to do the colors I used on the last card, but I probably won't take the time to assemble it, but it will be included in the card supplies. As a thank you for your order this week. There we go, like so. Let's go ahead and get this on here. Now on my other card, my sample card, I did wrap it around that peach pie layer, but this is probably faster anyway for video, and you get the same idea. We'll put some gems on it. I don't remember. I've seen the new catalog, and I don't remember if these ribbons carried over. I don't remember. Anybody know the answer to that? These are the 24 through 26 in color ribbons. So all of the colors have that beautiful ribbon. It's very easy to tie, and it just makes a really pretty bow. All right, we're going to go back and actually still use purple on this because we've got our purple greeting. And let's just get a few of these little cute little gems. And I'm a gem person, so if you're not a gem person, you just leave this part off. But there we go. That's that one. And here is the original where I wrap the ribbon around. Actually, maybe I like this better. It might be too much ribbon around that. So, what do you think of that one? Alrighty. Again, all the thumbs up are so welcome and helpful for me on YouTube. I am trying to grow my YouTube presence. I have gotten over 2,000, which was a big goal of mine. So I would love to. Now I'm heading towards 3,000. So I would love for you to subscribe. Okay, before we do the last one, I am going to give you a sneak peek of my club cards coming up. So my club is a subscription club. You can subscribe to it, and you can grab it or you can take it for 1 month. If you're not sure if you really want to subscribe yet, you can take it for 1 month. I have my notes here just so I don't forget. So you get all the supplies to make 5 cards. They're usually cards every month. Sometimes there's a 3D project. There's 5, and you get a printable PDF detailed instructions for each project. You can add this bundle. This bundle is $64.75. You can add it without paying tax and shipping. So that's an 11% savings. I pay it for you. And the bundle's already 10% discounted. So that's a pretty good deal. You can also add any of the supplies I use for the cards in the club without any extra shipping or tax, because I also pay that. And if you do subscribe and you're in it for 6 months, you get a gift from me for a $25 gift certificate that you can get. You can order anything you want to. It is $37 a month. It's $45 if you need shipping. We do meet in person here in Lincoln, Nebraska on the 4th Thursday of every month. Normally, unless there's some reason to change it because of holidays or something. And it meets from like 3 to 7 o'clock. You can come in person. Now, if you want to take it for 1 month, it's a little bit more because there's more administration on my end. That's $42 for in-person or porch pickup, or $51 if you need shipping. All right. You do have to sign up by April 10th this time, the 10th of the month. All right, let me show you. This is a fun fold. Now this one I colored with Bubble Bath Blends markers. So that one, it's an easy fun fold, but I did this with Blends markers. Here's one where I used just a portion of the hydrangea. Here's another one we're gonna show. And this one's one of my favorite. I tried to mimic the flowers in the paper. And then this gorgeous yellow and green one. So those are my cards for Be Creative Club. I will put links for that after I post the video. I'll put where you can find more information, or you can always message me and ask for more information as well. Okay, let's do our last card. And then at the very end, I'm going to show you my project for Julie and Friends using this set. All right, this one, I'm just going to show you on this one how I blended these colors to get the blues and purples, because this to me looks a lot like a hydrangea. So let me, well, like the blue ones. You know, you've seen the blue ones, I'm sure. Let's go ahead and stamp our hydrangea one more time. Again, I kept the layouts for these cards pretty simple because the blending with the 5 masks, it does take a while to show. So I didn't want the cards to be really complicated. And again, you don't need complicated cards to make them pretty. And then let's grab our first mask again. That's mask number 1. Let's grab all of our masks here. I've got them to the side. I'm going to get them they got kind of out of order here. So let's grab this one. It's our first one. And let's get it lined up like so. Looking at the leaves again. If you don't take anything else from the tips today, which I hope I've given you multiple tips, but I would say get your leaves marked on your mask. It just makes it so much easier. All right, let's go back to our fresh freesia. Oh, I don't know if that's fresh freesia. I think it is. Yeah, I think so. And then we're going to do our, one more time, I'm going to show you how to do the light and dark spaces. So I'm going to go in my fresh freesia, blot it off a little bit, dark space. Okay, and there's no rhyme to reason where I'm putting these. All I want to have happen is a variation in color. So I don't think, at this point, I'm not caring about where those dark spaces are. I just want them to be darker. Okay? Because I just like the way it looks. That's only because I have. Again, I'm sorry I'm not seeing your comments. I will come to the comments at the very end. And if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And if you're watching replay and you comment, I do try very hard to get back to my comments. Okay, let's call that good. And now I'm just going to lightly go so that I make sure that I have a little ink around all the edges. especially. But I'm not going to worry too much about it. Okay? Okay, there's our pretty variation in color we were looking for. Now, for this one, since I kind of want to add another color here, we're going to, this one now covers everything except the flowers themselves, this mask lining up my leaves again. Now, this time, we're going to take boho blue. Oh, you know what? I did this wrong, you guys. This is supposed to be boho blue to begin with. Okay, well, we're going to mix this up a little bit. Let's try. We're going to go back to this first mask. Now, this is not going to look like my sample because I blew it, my friends. This should have been a light blue. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, actually, well, let's see what happens with boho blue. I was thinking I might need to do blueberry bushel because I have so much ink already on here, but let's just do this. Let's see what happens with this. I'm going to do some blues. Again, I don't want to cover up all the light spaces, so I'm going to try to avoid some of those light spaces. So I think it'll still be pretty. It's not exactly going to be like my first one. But, and then again, stick with me because I'm going to show you my project for Julie and Friends. Okay, so there's that. Then let's go to, let's see what that looks like. Because I wanted to show blues. Well, that's pretty good, even like that. Looks nice. Okay, so let's go to this one. And now we're going to add a little depth of color. This time we're going to add blueberry bushel. See if I can get this lined up. I'm looking at my leaves. This is where it really helps to have your leaves marked. Make sure you get that in. I am going to tape this one down. And now we're going to go to blueberry bushel. And I don't know if I even finished my sentence earlier, very early in the video when I said, I told you on my last one, I don't have designated brushes, so I'm going to be careful with this because this is pretty dark for each color. But for this video, I did only use dedicated brushes to each color. You can wash your brushes. I don't recommend it. And the reason I don't recommend it is because it can make your bristles a little bit gray, and honestly, the more ink you have on your brushes through the depth of your brush, the better they're going to, I don't know how much I want to go over this. Yeah, well, this is not going to look at all like my other one. Let me go back to, and you can putz around with your cards kind of like I'm doing right now because this is not what I was originally going to do. I want this to blend just a little bit better. So I'm going to go back to my boho blue. Would have helped if I'd have started with the right color, but I'm going to go to boho instead of blueberry. And let's see if we can get this blended in just a little bit more. But you'll get the idea. I'll post my original one, and I'll show it to you at the end of this. I'm going to just blend these together here where we have kind of those. So we've got a lot going on in this card. I'm going to kind of try and blend that. Okay, we're going to call that good, and I'll show you my other one. But if you start with blueberry bushels, let me show you this one. If you start with blueberry bushel, you're going to get this nice, pretty blue in the background, and then all I did is I added some petunia pop actually on this one. So and I think I started with fresh freesia for this one, and I think this one I added petunia pop because that's what I used here. But that, my friends, are lots of ideas about how to use your brushes and your masks to make beautiful cards. Now, are you ready? I'm going to show you I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please, again, subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. I'd love to hear your comments as well. Okay, so our challenge for Julie and Friends I'm going to cover this up for a moment. Our challenge with Julie and friends was to use an in color or all the in colors, or at least one. So I used, which you can tell, boho blue, of which, where is boho blue? I can't even find it. I had it here, didn't we? Oh yeah. Okay, so I used boho blue on mine, and our challenge was anything goes with the retiring ink colors. The whole point was to point out to you that they are retiring. So I'm going to just pull them up here on my page. So all these colors, Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, Boho Blue, Moody Mauve, and Pebble Path, are retiring. And even though the last chance list hasn't come out yet, whenever it does, these colors sell out almost immediately, especially the most popular ones. So I would say if you want some of those colors, and make sure you have the ink refills for any of these ink pads that you have, and then your ink pads last forever. But anyway, that's just a reminder. So are you ready for this? Now you have to watch tomorrow night. You have to promise you're going to watch. Okay, sneak peek. My home decor, that's all you get. It's a little 8x8 frame, and I thought it came together so easy and so fast. Let me pull up my my face so I can say hello to you. And now I'm going to check the comments. Let's see if we can get the comments to come up. Oh my goodness, the comments. So I see there are, here's some. So technique, unblending. Yeah, Cynthia, it is unblending, I think. Hi, Julie. Oh, yeah, daylight savings, I know. It messes everybody up. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. Hi, Martha. Martha's in Colorado. I like both, but the green is my favorite. So you vote green. Well, maybe green was the one. Cynthia's talking about, the first card where I said, do you like this green tag or do you like this fresh freesia? And she voted for green. The green does pop. I think that's probably why I used it to begin with. All right. Cynthia more. Kathy, hi. Liz, yay. I think is that everybody? Kathy, sorry I missed you. Cranking out tunes and lost track of time. Well, good for you. Maybe you're having fun doing your chores. Liz, pretty shading, thank you. Cynthia was scared the first time she used her die cut machine. She was afraid she was going to break it or it was already defective. I pushed through and voila, it worked. Yes, Cynthia, it does make noise, doesn't it? Those first cranks through, it does make noise when you're doing that. So, all right, thanks so much. Make sure again that you set your reminders for tomorrow night at 6:30 Central Time on my YouTube channel. My home decor project is going to go live, and it's our contest for Julie and Friends, and I will love your vote if you like mine the best. But of course, you need to vote for whoever's is your favorite. All right, thank you so much. I'm so happy you were spending some time with me today, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Julie. All right, here we go. I'm going to click finish here, and then it will, I think, end the broadcast. Bye, everybody. Take care.